Hello there. It's great to have you join us on a new episode of Tech Trends as we seek out innovation and creativity that are unique to Africa. On our lineup this week, innovators, venture capitalists, tech enthusiasts come together to explore opportunities and navigate challenges within the tech ecosystem. Also on the program, startups and tech hubs showcase their innovations and solutions at the NCC ICT Innovation Competition. Plus, my chat with Obinna Iwuno, President of Stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria, takes a look at Nigeria's journey to digital economy. I am Olayemi Ojunuga. Welcome to the program. Blockchain is a very interesting technology that will have some profound applications for society over the years to come. Fintech, DeFi and crypto, venture capital, and the creative economy are some of the focus areas that took center stage at the Lagos Tech Fest. The platform provided an opportunity to identify investment opportunities and discuss key developments in the African tech ecosystem.
What reports or reviews you're looking at?
It's a gathering of tech enthusiasts, innovators, investors, and venture capitalists to identify opportunities and plan strategies that will drive investment into Nigeria's tech ecosystem.
We know that data protection is key.
Now in its third year, Lagos Tech Fest provides a platform for those interested in tech to learn, transfer knowledge, and network.
In the last 2 to 3 years, we've constantly brought together business leaders, enthusiasts, innovators, disruptors, and everybody that are working within Nigeria's tech ecosystem, providing them with an opportunity to learn more about latest opportunities, meet with peers, learn about solutions that are shaping the future of Nigeria's tech ecosystem. Conversations at this event are spanning across multiple focus, from venture capital investments to future of workforce, to fintech, to payments, to crypto and DeFi, and basically multiple phases of the tech ecosystem.
Panel sessions, presentations, and fireside chats all explore the theme collaborative approach towards strengthening the growth of Nigeria's tech ecosystem.
Last year, we saw a rise in the number of people that were investing, so angel investors, and some of that was going through syndicates. So it allows for individuals to be able to invest in startups, right? Without the complexity, that's the person leading the syndicate or the group leading the syndicate is not going through the complexities of raising an actual fund.
But some syndicates also come together. Companies come together also to share risks, right? And depending on why they come together to invest in this startup, it would inform the kind of structure that we put in place. So the SPV has been set up to invest in a startup. It's for the startup to manage that relationship. With their existing investors, they should have entered into investment agreements. So if you're bringing in new investors, you have to look at your existing terms to see what rights your old investors have.
There's a general winter freeze, we say, with investors, especially for early stage companies, especially for late, more mature companies, I would say, compared to early stage companies. Investors are still very keen to looking for opportunities in other sectors. The SDG, climate change, is very important consideration for many investors today. So tech companies that are helping to solve that are very attractive and are the front runner of investors.
Critical conversations essential to the future of work, the creative economy, market expansion and fundraising for startups, among others, targets how to position Nigeria's tech sector for further growth and development.
If you have, say, 5 customers on your platform, if three of them are fraudulent, what that means is that you're already prone to being defrauded on your platform already. And this can actually be curbed at the point of onboarding that particular customer into your system. Because there are 3 major things that customers go through on your platform. The first point is at the point of onboarding. The second point is the point of interaction, meaning it's interacting with your service or products. And the third one is at the point of exit. So if you are able to first being able to onboard the right set of customers, right, while you are onboarding your customer, you can reduce your fraud, say, by 50%.
Every player in the financial services sector, the key thing is, what are those patterns that you notice? Because if it's happening to one person, it's actually happening to every other person. And if the banks or fintechs are not talking to each other, then the truth is, what happened to me is going to happen to you tomorrow, and neither of us will know, and you won't be able to prepare for it. That collaboration about saying, look, you know what, this money came into your bank, it's fraudulent, please return it, is where that collaboration is key.
Financial services, we are into the business of trust. It's essentially, it's a commoditized environment as well. But we're talking about people's money. Money is a currency, money is a tool, money is emotional. So when do you start? The first day you establish that you want to start a financial institution, that is when you start. However, I must say that it has to be a continuous process.
Whilst the fintech organizations, entities, and people are making good advances on how to use technology, there are also some other people on the negative side, the hackers, who are also using the same concept, the same paradigm to, to destroy whatever people are going to build. So the truth in it is that as we go to the future, fraud is going to exist. That's my point. Fraud will still exist. Now, it depends on us. It depends on the community of fintechs to understand and strengthen the capacity around preventing frauds.
The Nigeria Tech Focused Conference aims to address key developments happening within the tech space by exploring opportunities and navigate challenges in the Nigerian tech market. One of the major challenges facing Nigeria's ICT sector is the lack of interest for locally produced content and services. The preference, acquisition, and maintenance of foreign ICT products has led to the yearly loss of billions of naira, which is why the Nigerian Communications Commission is promoting indigenous content development and their adoption to support the growth of digital businesses in the country. A 2019 Nigeria Digital Economy Diagnostic Report by the World Bank revealed the country is capturing only a fraction of its digital economic potential and will need to make strategic investments to develop a dynamic, transformative digital economy.
All this available technology to track.
So to fully realize the potential, the Nigeria Communications Commission is promoting the development and adoption of indigenous content to drive the growth of the country's ICT sector.
When you bring people together for exhibition or for conference, there's something to it.
At the Commission's ICT Innovation Competition, the focus areas are digital service development and promotion, indigenous content development and adoption, and funding digital skills and innovation.
This competition is aligned with Nigeria's digital economy policy and strategy, specifically pillars 5, 7, and 8, which focus on digital service development and promotion, digital society and emerging technologies, and indigenous content development and adoption, respectively. This year's competition will focus on 3 key areas. 1, digital service development and promotion. 2, indigenous content development and adoption. And funding digital skills building and innovation in Nigeria. These areas were intentionally chosen because they are critical for developing indigenous businesses into world-class service providers and creating conditions for iterative solution solving by indigenous digital technology and innovation service providers.
Currently, we have 50 people on 50 talents on our platform.
This effort is aimed at not only nurturing the indigenous solutions of startups, but also bridge the widening digital divide in the country. This will in turn help create a resilient business environment and drive economic growth.
What I see today in various booths, what I say, Nigerians has talent. I saw a lot of things that can be compared to other developed nations today. That is a number of technologies that are developed by Nigerian engineers, technologies, app developers, software engineers, and so on. So Nigeria is catching up.
Information communications technology is not only one of the fastest growing industries, creating millions of jobs, but it is also an important enabler of innovation and development, as it has the potential to bridge the digital divide in the country. Braha Sechuk narrowly escaped death when her family fled Nazi-allied forces, storming the city of Odessa in Crimea in 1941. Saved only by a lost sandal which made her miss her place on a passenger ship shortly before it was bombed. A lifetime later, 86-year-old Sechuk is retelling a story via an artificial intelligence service, generating images that will leave an enduring record of her trauma for future generations. Sechuk is one of 19 Israelis who have so far used the AI software Midjourney to record their memories of the Holocaust, in which 6 million Jews were killed, for a project run by Chesday Naomi organization which supports the survivors.
We were hurrying to catch the last steamer leaving Odessa with many children and elderly people on board.
Okay.
But on our way, I lost my sandal and we had to come back to find it. And it saved our lives.
Really?
Because when we reached, we missed the steamer. It was bombed by fascists and almost all the passengers were killed.
After the lost sandal that saved Sechuk and her family's lives, they found another vessel and were able to leave. Tens of thousands of Jews were killed in the city they left behind after it was taken by Romanian and Nazi German forces.
I want you to remember the moment when it saves your life.
As about feelings, this one will suit.
I feel that I'm sitting with brave people. Each one of them have a unique story, and they have been through terrifying stuff, but they are still alive today, they are still functioning, and it's incredible to hear and to see it, basically to generate it into photos. I feel that this is our national duty to remember and not forget.
Sitting alongside the survivors as they retell their stories, Saul Leffler writes the key elements into Midjourney, an AI program which converts text into graphic pictures. The AI-generated images were presented at an exhibition in the southern Israeli city of Ashkelon. Survivors and their families, as well as young volunteers who are working to help them, roamed the hall and examined the pictures, which will be sold as part of the organizers' effort to raise money to support Holocaust survivors.
And some people do not want to remember about that. And I think it's very important to remind them and to show them that anything can repeat in our life. And we should not forget about that, you see?
Also visiting the exhibition was an 86-year-old Holocaust survivor who led 2 young women volunteers to show them the pictures based on his memories. Sakachu's AI-generated images were based not only on his memories, but also on an original photo of himself as a toddler, which was scanned into the software and manipulated to make him look older in the final product. To his surprise, one of the 4 images generated based on his memories and photo portrayed a boy who looked like his older brother. In a Beth Shemesh nursing home, Raisa was also recalling a Holocaust-era trauma to Leffler. Born in Belarus in 1941, she recounts how 21 of her relatives were killed, including her 3 sisters and brother, aged between 3 and 13. The program generates 4 images of a young child wearing a pink coat, leaving Gurrich to choose the closest likeness. It is evidence that for the survivors, Bringing up these memories is not an easy task. But Seshuk is adamant that telling their history and preserving visual manifestation of it is important enough. Blockchain has been touted as the technology that will transform many sectors, starting with the financial industry, especially with the increase in the value of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. The technology supports decentralized digital currency through a peer-to-peer validation process. On Tech Trends this week, Obinna Iwono, President of Stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria, joins me to discuss Nigeria's cashless economy, the adoption of the e-Naira, as well as the impact of blockchain technology on industries.
It's a yes and no answer. Cash is still king because there is still a lot of unbanked population in Nigeria. You find out that the majority of the people who are affected are those who are unbanked, those who are in the rural areas. How do you buy your tomatoes from Mama Nkechi in the market? By doing a transfer to her, right? So these are the issues. So on this note, cash is still king. But on the other note, cash is still not king because I would say for myself, in the past 2 weeks, I haven't used up to 10,000 Naira in cash to do anything, right? So I have a few cash with me that is not even up to 10,000, and I've been having it for more than 2 weeks now, because I live in an area where I could literally do almost everything I want cashless. I could use a POS, I could do a bank transfer, I could use the USSD code. But this is not the situation in the whole country. So it's a yes and no answer.
Let's now take this conversation to Nigeria's digital currency, which is the e-Naira. Now, many economists are of the opinion that the e-Naira's purpose of a cashless economy is yet to be fulfilled. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that is true because, for example, I haven't used the e-Naira. I haven't seen an integration with my bank. I haven't seen point of pay service center where I could use the e-Naira. So there has been no adoption yet. In fact, if you ask me, like other Nigerians, I would still ask you, does the e-Naira really exist? Because I'm not aware. I've not had any reason to use it. I've not had any reason to be stopped from carrying out this transaction because of my inability to possess or access e-Naira. All right. So I would say that the adoption of e-Naira is almost at zero, right? Because if there is no widespread usage, if it is not replacing the financial payments systems and structures that we have, if it is not being accepted by merchants, and businesses alike, then there is no adoption going to happen. So the e-Naira could as well as be an existence in papers and maybe on the internet, but no real use.
Now, could the slow adoption of the e-Naira be a sign that the government has not been inclusive enough in its pursuit of a cashless economy?
I think that the government is not taking the right steps if it is about the e-Naira. And then, of course, in the cashless economy also, because if you want to run a cashless economy, what have you done to address the issues of those who could not access banking services, right? So, for example, in areas in rural communities where there are no banks, no internet service, right? And you want to run a cashless community or cashless economy, are those ones going to be running on cash? If they are not going to be running on cash, what measures has been put in place? Even payment solutions as minute as mobile money is non-existent in this country. Of course, we know that majority of the people who are in rural areas possess a mobile phone, all right? And they have mobile phone numbers. And we do not have mobile money in operation in Nigeria. So how are those people going to be a part of the cashless society? So they will still have to be constrained to using cash for everything that they want to do. And you cannot now say that we are running a cashless society whereby there is a percentage of your population that still have to operate on cash. All right. So I think that what the government needs to do is to address the problem of infrastructure when it comes to payment solutions, and also address the challenges of financial inclusion, get more people access to banking services, make internet connectivity available all around the nation. Because almost everything that man has to do today, at least 90% of man's activity today has to involve the internet. And if we do not have access to the internet, how are we going to successfully roll out a cashless policy and implement it? So these are the issues.
To blockchain technology, which is your area of expertise, some tech experts say that it has the potential to revolutionize sectors. What impact will it have on Nigeria's digital economy?
Well, Nigeria's digital economy can get better by over 60% if we begin to implement blockchain technology across sectors. The blockchain technology is the third generation internet. And this is the internet that allows you to transmit and transfer value. And so it means that you could hold a lot of digital assets and value on the internet without any fear of compromise, right? We are in an election period. Imagine if our electoral structure is built on a blockchain technology. We wouldn't have any issues for all of these controversies that keep rising up every day. If our voters' registration process was on the blockchain technology, we wouldn't have any issues of double registration, invalid voters. You don't find your polling units and stuff like that. In 2021, in 2020 rather, NIDA engaged stakeholders in the blockchain industry in a workshop to develop a blockchain framework for the federal government for the adoption of blockchain technology. And the aim of the federal government was to raise $6 billion from that. That is a clear indication that this is an economic mover. And so the question remains, what have we done with it? So far, the only sector that is utilizing blockchain technology is the financial sector. And because of the financial use case of blockchain, which is cryptocurrency, is the most famous at the moment. But people need to understand that blockchain technology is not cryptocurrency. All right? Cryptocurrency is built on blockchain technology. It means that there is a lot that blockchain can be done with. Blockchain is like a bakery, and cryptocurrency is like one of the products that come out of this bakery. So it would rapidly enhance the growth of our technology sector if we adopt blockchain massively across the nation. Just like India has done in tech, Nigeria can do the same with the implementation and adoption of blockchain technology in our digital space. And so we have a lot to gain by doing that.
Let me take you back to the National Blockchain Adoption Strategy you just mentioned, which was published by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. How effective is it in addressing key issues and challenges?
Well, there is that strategy, but the adoption is another thing, right? Because as it is right now, we do not yet have a proper definition of the blockchain industry. There is no regulatory sandbox or policy that has been enacted by the Nigerian legislature, nor signed by the executive concerning blockchain technology, right? So while there exists a strategy, a framework for this thing. But there has been no execution or implementation as yet. Because if there has been an execution and implementation, we are going to see the effect across board. And so the absence of that kind of effect shows clearly that this framework is still sitting there and waiting to be executed. And the truth is that what is contained in that framework is beautiful. It's going to be of immense benefit to the Nigerian economy because a thorough work was done on that. But we are yet to see an implementation of that. And that is why you are yet to see a widespread of blockchain adoption in Nigeria. You know, by now, blockchain technology should be a course taught in our schools, in our universities. You know, we should have blockchain clubs in every secondary school in Nigeria. You know, there should now be books and textbooks on blockchain technology, constantly updated with the continuous improvements that is happening in the industry. There should be a widespread of blockchain hubs and incubation centers across the country. You know, there should be massive generation of revenue from the blockchain sector. Because if you look at the top 10 global organizations in the world today, 6 to 7 of them are in tech. That means there is a massive benefit that awaits us if we adopt that framework and strategy, as has been finally put and worked on by industry stakeholders. So it's a fine piece of document with a lot of benefits for the industry, but it is still waiting execution. But the question is, will the government act on this?
Well, we hope that they definitely do act on it. Well, thank you so much, Obinna, for taking time to share your thoughts with us on Tech Trends.
Thank you so much, Yemi, for having me.
That's all we have for you on our lineup this week. Thank you for staying with us. As always, Tech Trends is here to share insights, trends, and developments happening within the tech space. If you missed any part of the program, you can always catch up on the channel's TV YouTube account where we have all of our episodes. And I encourage you to watch, share, and like your favorite editions. Until I come your way again next week, I am Olayemi Otunuga. Bye for now.